Welcome to Total Football episode 5. Bukayo Saka has officially been ruled out for up to 4 weeks because of the hamstring injury that he got during the game against Leeds United. A major blow for Arsenal Football Club. He scored an amazing goal just before halftime and had to be withdrawn early in the second half against Leeds because of an hamstring injury. Look, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. In better news, Martin Odegaard, who also came off with a shoulder. Oh my goodness, a shoulder. Martin Odegaard. I'm not editing this out. I refuse. I am not editing this out. Martin Odegaard also came off with a shoulder injury in the first half. He could be available for the Liverpool clash, which is good news. Luckily there is an international break after this weekend's fixtures, so Bukayo Saka will most likely be available for our next game against Nottingham Forest at the Emirates Stadium. So it's not too bad. Look, at the end of the day, we've got reinforcements. We did bring in Madueke on the right hand side, to cover Bukayo Saka. We also have Waneri, who can play at the right as well, on the right as well. So there are options. 100% there are options. Would I prefer to have Saka instead of Waneri or Madueke on the right? 100%. But this is what it's all about. And the thing about the situation is we get to see just how good we are without some of our best players. What frustrates me is the fact that whenever we play Liverpool, some of our best players are constantly unavailable. This has been happening for a couple of seasons now. Last season we played Liverpool at the Emirates. If you remember, Saka was a doubt for that game as well, but he made it. He was available. He scored the first goal. But defensively, we had a lot of injuries in that game. Saliba was out injured for that game, and we had Ben White at centre back, or we had Ben White at the right back actually, with Gabriel, and we had Kiwior and Miles Lewis-Kelly. Miles Lewis-Kelly was actually on the bench. We had Timber at left back, if I remember correctly. But we finished that game with Partey at right back, Ben White, Kiwior, and Miles Lewis-Kelly. It's always something whenever we play Liverpool. I'm not making excuses. All I'm saying is that, for once I'd like to go up against the best team in England, or the best teams, in Liverpool City, with our full strength team available, But it's unfortunate it happens. Teams get injuries. We get on with it, and this is the exciting thing about this weekend's game against Liverpool at Anfield, is we get to see what the team will be like, or how they will perform, or how Arteta will set up the team, without Bukayo Saka. And even if Odegaard doesn't make it in time for the clash, we have Eberechi Eze to come in, and he could play in his natural number 10 position. He's gotten the number 10 shirt, so that says that the position, the Odegaard position, is where we see him excelling at his very best. But with a full strength team, we would obviously see him on the left hand side with Odegaard and Saka next to him. So it's unfortunate with the injury. But like I said, I want to see us, I want to see the squad depth come in and, produce a result. I want to see us go to Anfield, be brave, be attacking, and come away with something. I remember back in the Wenger days, going to Anfield used to be absolute torture. Going to Anfield was a given that we'd lose. And the sad part is, we never went there and lost 1-0, 2-0. We used to get thumped away from home all the time going to Anfield, So one thing I will say is our away form against the so-called big six, Liverpool, City, Spurs, Chelsea, Newcastle. That's the fact that we've been really good on the road against the big six, under Mikel Arteta. So that's something to look forward to. I mean, last season we drew against City away, we drew against Liverpool away, we beat Spurs, we lost against Newcastle, but we drew against Chelsea away as well. So there's something to look forward to. It's still early in the season. I don't think the result at Anfield will really define our season, but you want to go in there into that game, and you want to get a result, before the international break. You want to get a result. A lot of people are expecting Liverpool to win the title this season, and this is a good test for us, especially after signing Eze. It seems like a few pundits, and former players, the prediction for the title has changed, and they are favouring Arsenal now because of the addition of Eze. I don't want that pressure. I do not want that pressure. But look, at the end of the day, we spent so much money on the transfer window this season. We have to win something, So if we go to Anfield, we have to go and make a statement and show people that we are serious about going one better this season. Finishing second for the past 3 seasons, it's not what we want, but we are on the right track. So I mean, looking at the options we have now, we have Madueke, we have Moneri, Martinelli and Trossard have both played on the right hand side in the past. We have Jesus coming back from injury as well, who I do think is better as a right winger instead of a striker. So I mean, let me know in the comments who you think should take Bukayo Saka's place, and if Odegaard is injured, would you play Eze in the number 10 role and Martinelli or Trossard on the left, or would you go Martinelli on the right and Madueke on the left, which would not make sense at all? But let me know what you think in the comments. And also, an interesting question: Calafiori has started our last 2 games at left back. Do you think that it's time for Miles Lewis to come back into the fold, or do we stick with Calafiori, who has gotten 2 clean sheets? He's gotten a goal as well. So let me know in the comments what you think, and who do you think should replace the missing players or potential missing players, when it comes to Odegaard as well. Have a good day, and I'll see you soon.